Hey everyone, this is Anna here, and in this video I'm going to show you how I make this cute little pumpkin here for your fall decor, and I'm going to show you how I make the stem and how I alter to make these pieces here. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see. So the first thing I did is to throw a shape like this, like a spherical shape, and then I close the top here. It's almost like if you would make a bottle, and then you keep on closing until you get real. You don't have to close all the way, as long as you keep like maybe at an inch or less of a hole in here on the top. I think you would be okay. I closed it just because I thought it would be easier to put the stem of the pumpkin right here and then alter. And it's not quite leather hard. You have to alter while it's still before getting to leather hard. In fact, I'm going to spray a little bit so it doesn't dry too much, because in order for you to alter to make all the different parts here of the pumpkin, you divide it in however many pieces you want to make. I think the other one I did it 8, divided in equal parts. And so you can choose to do 6 or 5, however you want to do it. But I just sprayed so let's see if I can find the plastic. I'm gonna cover the other one too, as I don't want it to dry too quickly so it won't crack. So the first thing I'm going to make is I'm using one of these shredder, cheese shredder, I guess it is. Mine keeps on popping out. I know this one I got, it is for clay. I can't remember where I got it, but this is great for pieces that you're not gonna trim. So I'm not gonna put it upside down like this to trim the foot. I am just gonna remove the excess clay that I have right here to make it just a little bit rounder shape. And mine is pretty thin already, so I'm not gonna go crazy taking it out. When I throw my pieces on the wheel, I try to remove as much as I can from the bottom already, so I don't have, when I trim, I don't have a whole lot to trim. I've always done it that way. It just saves me time when I trim. But this is a quick and easy way to remove excess of clay. I like this red rib. It's very soft and flexible. Just gonna put a little bit of water. Try to get all the marks. Just making sure that it's really smooth, that I don't have any of those marks. Now what I'm gonna do here on the bottom, because I left it real thin here on the bottom, I'm just going to slowly try to make it concave, I guess is the word. You may not be able to see it that well on the video, but there. And then once it's all glazed, I always grind the bottom anyways in here, so it creates a foot right here on the edge. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and cut off cut these off a little bit. That's just to help putting this thing on top. And that's my disc that have all the, it's a divider. So you put it where the middle is, which I found the center. And then I'm using my needle tool because it's got little holes everywhere, you can see. And it's got the numbers. And you find how many equally spaced, you know, how many numbers of equal spacing you want. So the other one I did it with 8. So 8 is right here. And then you find the other 8, and then the other 8, and then so forth. And then you keep on going around. And then I am going to use this tool here and just go straight down. Just put a little pinhole. Actually, I'm gonna do it on the first hole also. So there are several holes in a line, so I did the first and the last just so I can draw a line. I think that's good enough. And I'm just going to just making a little line here. And this piece here is gonna end up going in a little bit because the pumpkin's not out like that, it's in. So I'm gonna push this part in a little bit. Doing this very lightly, just so I have a place to start. Now, it just so happens that this wheel here, which is not a good one that I have better ones, but I picked this one, just a plastic one, because it's already divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 8. So because I'm doing 8, and this will be perfect for this. You see, it's not a good one. It doesn't rotate as easy. But what I will do is lining up with the bottom here, with the bottom lines, as you can see. And that just helps me quite a bit. Okay, and I'm going to spray. Now I use this rib here that I have, which is a pretty large one. It's a MKM 2W20. It's a pretty large. It's also a great rib to have for opening bowls. Like if you make one of those shallow that I like to make, a shallow bowl, like could be a fruit bowl or a serving bowl. It's great for opening. When you're throwing, you just push this down, and it's quite large, so I use this for that a lot too. So back to this, what I'm going to do is start marking with the rib, just rocking back and forth, and I do a little bit at a time. And now I'm going to start marking the bottom. So it meets with the top here. Now you can have a piece of paper and make your, like a circle and mark, divided into sections, 8 sections, or however many sections you're doing. All I'm doing is following these lines here on the bottom to meet with these ones on top. And this is a rubber tip tool that I use it a lot also. It's great for altering. So after I use the rib, I just start pushing just with my fingers. So far, no cracks. Just do it slowly and you won't get any cracks. Make sure that you wet it to keep it somewhat malleable, easy to work with. So now we're gonna move on to the stem. So here, this is how I save my scraps when I trim, or when I'm doing the handle, whatever leftover I have, I just start keeping a blob of clay, that whatever is left, I save all these scraps to make my little critters with. I use these for handles. And so anyways, this is the scrap as I was making the other pumpkins. And this clay is standard 112. So I'm just gonna get a chunk to make the stem. Let's see if this is enough. Just a little bit longer. If it is too long, you can always cut it, but just a piece like this. And I'm gonna make a foil with it. Then I'm gonna add some texture. It might be too much. So you want larger here and tapering at the other ends. Now you don't have to make your stem this long. I like to curl mine. Some people just leave a stub, you know, and curl a little bit, but I like mine long. But it might be a little too long now. Let's see. Maybe I'll cut it to about here. I'm gonna save this piece because I might still need it. So I do want this to be a little larger, so I'm just going to make a hole here in the middle just so I can I'm going to divide these into sections, same like with the pumpkins, because each little piece of the stem is indented into the sections of the pumpkin. You see what I mean by that? I like to use a little carving tool. You don't have to. I like to use this guy here because it's already on an angle here, comes to a point. So I'm just going to mark how I'm going to do it. Let's see. Have an extra one. And you don't have to be that precise. I am being more precise than what I should. You know, things are not always so symmetrical. That's just me. So how I divided. So I didn't need this one, at least for now I don't need it. And this area here you can adjust once you put it over the pumpkin. That's how I'm going to adjust that piece once I have it in place. So right now I'm more worried about just adding some texture. I'm gonna carve. You can carve, you can use one of those rubber tip tools, anything to just add texture. So I'm gonna start just by carving a little bit. And then once you twist, it gives a real nice look to the stem. Now is the fun part. You start twisting just a little at a time. Slight twist so that it won't crack. Then you can, once you get to this part, you can just use your imagination, however you want to twist and turn. Remember that this might be resting on the pumpkin so that you have an attachment place. There. This is what it looks like right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little scoring at the bottom here. Like I said, this part will be adjusted once it's on the pumpkin. Just adding a little slip. Making a bigger hole in the center here. And we are going to attach. And then once you attach, then you can add even more texture right here. Just wetting the clay a little bit so it gives a surface to attach easier. So these are the little tips that matches the, you don't have to do it that way, that's just me. And then I make sure each tip is on the indent, and then I can add a little bit more texture in there. And I added a lot of slip so that it attaches really well. So using my rubber tip tool again, just going around making sure it's really attached. And then remember to make a hole. Remember, I made the hole inside, but now that this is over that hole, it has sealed again. So remember to add your hole to let the air escape. And once it's here, you can add all kinds of texture to that. have fun with it. And I'll show you where I'm gonna make the hole to let the air out. I try to make it on a place that you can't really see. So it might be like right here by the stem. That's how I did it on the other one, the other pumpkin. Sometimes when you're handling, some of my texture kind of disappeared in here. I'm just making it so that it shows a little bit more. To have a little bit of cleaning up to do. So see this spot between on that little loop there, that's where I'm gonna make my hole. So using the needle tool, I'm going to poke it right, hope you can see, right there, there. I don't know if you can tell, right there. It's cute. What do you think? I would love to see your creations. Like I said, this is just my version of my pumpkin. I love to see what other people make. And I know it always comes out different, of course, because we're making something by hand. But just enjoy, have fun with it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.